going on, No Horsing Around family? Zach Boyd, Stephen Burton, back at it again. This is your instant reaction, as we've done all year long. Indianapolis Colts have basically they've made history today, Stephen. The largest comeback in NFL history was witnessed today against our team, up at 33 points at halftime. And we lose this game 39-36 in overtime in such a fitting way. I mean, there's not a lot left to say when it comes right down to it. But that being said, fan and me love the way we started this game. It's just fun to watch them play when they're playing well. But also, if you're using the logic, losing ultimately isn't the worst thing that could happen moving forward, because let's just be honest, Stephen, that we're not a good football team. And it is what it is at this point. We're just not a very good football team. Actually, we're a bad football team if we're being transparent here. So what do you got?
I mean, yeah, we were talking right before we came on to do the instant reaction. The fan in you's like, man, it was so much fun watching them put up 33 points. But then you are sitting there going, I think I texted you during the game. I was like, they're going to mess around and like win this game, a game they're not supposed to, kind of mess up what's going on when you're trying to find this quarterback. Which, watching this game, even more, you got to go get a guy like you do, like Matt Ryan. We were talking about it. It's frustrating to watch him. You know, he steps back. If nothing's there, he just takes the sack. Like, he just kind of turtles. And he's so Carson Wentz-esque a little bit with how careless he is with the ball, which is insane. But it's like, you're sad to see it. I think it puts the nail in the coffin of the idea that Jeff Saturday might be the head coach next year. You can't do this. I joked and said if it had held like the way it was going, he looked great coming out of the bye week. You know, you were kind of amazed.
Sure.
But and I'll say one thing, and I'll pass it to you with for it is. It also shows more than ever, all three phases have to do something, just something. The offense did nothing again today.
It's just a reassurance of what we've already known for several weeks, that we just got clean slate, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, can we not just say, hey, it's been however you feel about it, coach, GM, all of that good stuff. Can we not just say, hey, man, at the end of the day, let's get a new regime total. Let's start from ground up. Let's get a new general manager. Let's get a new head coach. Let's get a different mind in here and a different philosophy of how to play football, because what we're doing right now is simply just not working. I mean, it's just not working in any way, in any facet. And I know we've kind of held on to this notion that, well, our defense has played pretty good this year. They're starting to cave a little bit too. I know injuries play a part in that. You played a team who is a really good offense today. But that being said, when you've got a 33-point cushion in the second half, you can't lose those football games. And as a matter of fact, no one in NFL history has ever lost a football game with a 33-point lead. So that being said, man, it's been a gut punch. It's just been a roller coaster ride to ride all year long. And for all that we love, ex-players coming in, and I commend Jeff Saturday, obviously, for coming in, trying to do his best to kind of get this team back around. I'm indifferent when it comes to that. I don't think Jeff Saturday's the direction you're probably going to go in. And that's not really necessarily just indicative of this one game. I think you probably need a true, veteran, a really good X's and O football coach, a teacher of football, a guy who can really lead that group and win football games. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to, wins and losses. Not a lot to like, man. I mean, the special teams had a nice play. I mean, they definitely started off early. Defense had, the pickup, the return, the scoop. But that being said, just way too easy in the second half, and you could feel the meltdown happening. There's absolutely nothing this football team couldn't do to stop that. And the honest truth is, we're just not good enough to stop another team when they're trying to impose their will. So that's pretty much my my sentiment for the whole season, as we in record fashion found a way to lose this football game.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll say is, hey, to those who wanted to see the Colts play well and actually put up points, you got to see that. To those who wanted us to lose, you got to see that. Onward and upward to Richardson, Levis, Stroud, Hooker, whoever you want. It's when you play like this, like there's a real chance that we don't. I mean, I've kind of said that I think they beat the Texans still in the final game. Who knows? If I'm Matt Ryan, I'm probably ducking and covering because I mean, you've seen the defense is starting to erode. There's only so much you can do,
Yeah.
and I'd be remiss. This has no effect on the game, but at the same time, man, the refs are bad.
They
Man,
weren't
the
good
refs are
today.
bad
They were not good
on
today.
both
I mean,
sides. It was
yeah,
a
I mean, not
bad ref,
to a
horribly
lot of
refereed,
really untimely
big
calls,
missed
a lot of
calls.
calls that were just not good, you know what I mean? And
Mm.
I'm not gonna put any of this loss on the refs, but
No, none of it goes on the refs, but it
you're
was just
100%
it was
right. It
bad.
was it was not good today.
Nope.
But that being said, as we round the show up the instant reaction, we want you to light us up in the comments. What do you think? And it's officially, Steven, it's draft season, baby. I think it's all the way there now. I mean, for all the people who were holding out hope and all this, that, and the other, I think you can just turn one eye. You had one eye point forward. Now it's time to turn two eyes towards the draft. We'll have much of that as it comes, along in the season, this off season. We'll get to that. Head coaching, general managers, coaches, quarterbacks, all that stuff's going to be fun.
Coordinators,
Yeah,
everything.
it's going to be a fun time. It's depressing right now. It's very hard to deal with as a Colts fan. But that being said, I think brighter days are definitely around the corner. I think ultimately Jim Irsay's going to make a power move if he can. He's going to have to find someone who wants to be here. But I think there's a possibility that this all turns out for the best in the long term when it's all said and done. I think we're going to get our guy, and I don't think we're going to have a choice. I think we're going to be so high in the draft where the guy's going to be there for us when it comes down to it. But that being said, we'll end it like we always end it, Steven. I love you. I have no doubt that Steven loves you. All of the No Horsing Around family loves you. Guys, we are out.